Now let's bring in the Future Women founder and managing director, Helen McCabe. Helen, great to have you with us tonight, coming from Canberra.
Thanks, Sharri, and congratulations on the new show. It's great to be with you.
Thank you so much. Now, I want to ask you about new data that has shown that the number of female job seekers in New South Wales is actually at a record low. Have a look at this graph. Last month, 59,600 women in New South Wales were seeking work, and that's down from over 85,000 a year ago. Helen, is this a true reflection of what's happening in the job market for women at the moment?
Look, it's exciting data, and as someone who's working in this space and working with women who are unemployed, it's really great to see these results and New South Wales leading the way. We saw at the Jobs and Skills Summit, Sharri, that there's a 10% gap in the workforce participation of men versus women, and that's regarded as the unlocked resources or resource in this country, and that there could be some simple things done to activate more women into the workplace. And I make that point because we're one of the most highly educated female workforces in the world. So it is exciting data, but I think there are some couple of things that need to be considered, and that is that it's a response to the jobs and skills shortage.
Yeah. It's interesting because we're now seeing this big push by companies to get employees back into the office after COVID. But the flip side is that, you know, during COVID, when everyone was working from home and there were more flexible options for women, particularly for mothers, it actually made it a lot easier for mums, for young mums in particular with little kids, to be part of the office and to actually return to work sooner.
Yeah, that's right. So it's quite an exciting time. So you've got employers looking for people to hire. So they're considering women in a way that they might not have considered in the past. And I don't mean necessarily gender. I mean that's right. 2-3 hours, 2-3 days a week is now a possibility. And so you're seeing employers go, well, I just need to fill holes. I've got jobs to be done, particularly in hospitality and retail. So if I can get a woman in who's fantastic, but also she can mix that up with her her caring responsibilities. So that's been a big shift. I'd also just want to add that, of course, we are seeing rising cost of living. So there might also be a bit of a push factor into the workforce. These women might have bills to pay, and so there could be a bit of that built in this. The other thing, of course, as you say, is if you can work from home and juggle your family, that's a great outcome for women. But there's some cautionary tales in that as well. As you'll be aware, being in the office means that you have more front-facing with your colleagues, and sometimes women are finding, now that we're a few years into this experiment, that you can get forgotten if you're working from home. So there's a couple of extra considerations to take into account.
Yeah, you go on maternity leave or you leave a job, no one even notices. I'm not complaining, genuinely. Helen...
You've just got a new job.
I know. It's International Women's Day next week. We've just had Pride Week. Look, a man welcome at the International Women's Day events. I know you've got one of the largest in the country happening next week.
Yeah, thank you, Sharri. That's right. I mean, one of the things, you watch the World Pride events and the great diversity of people taking place, and then you get to International Women's Day, and a lot of men feel like, oh, well, that's the Women's Day event, I'm not invited, or I won't go, or if they do go, they're super uncomfortable. So my message is to any men watching tonight to think about going and being involved in it, because one of the things about the gender debate is that it doesn't move as fast as I would like, and the reason for that is that not enough men feel comfortable in this space, and we've often excluded them. We roll our eyes, we complain to one another, but we haven't really invited men very often. And look, our event next week in Sydney, and it's completely virtual, will have men speaking at it, and I do encourage men to go. We had two high-profile men in last year's event, and that was Jim Chalmers and Josh Frydenberg. Josh was the treasurer at the time, and the current treasurer turned up as the shadow treasurer, and it was a really interesting experience to witness as the event organiser. One, to hear them speak to an all-female audience. Two, to see what the reaction of the female audience was. And my message is as much to women watching this, invite the men, make them feel welcome when they turn up. Sometimes I feel like we like hanging out. Them. Yeah, that's right. Don't make it difficult for men to be involved in this debate. So that's my message. That's what we're trying to get through, and slowly.
All right, so very quickly, if any men want to go to, or women want to go to your International Women's Day event next week, how can they find out about it?
Futurewomen.com. It's called Accelerate. It's about accelerating both gender equality but also the country. So we've got some great speakers. Annabelle Crabb, a favourite of everyone, is opening it. We have... Anna Bly, Lucy Turnbull, Em Wisciano is on day 2. So please come along and say hello. If you need to know anything more about it, you know where to find me. I'm everywhere. I'm easy to find.